The taxi's door closed with a soft click, and in that quiet moment, a leather wallet lay forgotten on the back seat. Inside it was more money than most people earned in a year, several platinum cards, and an identity known across the business world. But none of that mattered now. What mattered was the man driving the taxi, and the choice he was about to make, a choice that would quietly change two lives forever. Earlier that evening, the city was glowing with its usual arrogance. Glass towers reflected wealth, speed, and ambition. Inside one of those towers sat Adrian Cole, a self-made millionaire CEO who had everything except peace. His company had just closed a deal worth hundreds of millions, yet his chest felt hollow. Success had given him power, respect, and headlines, but it had taken his marriage, his friendships, and something far more important, his trust in people. Adrian had learned the hard way that money made people smile differently. Compliments felt rehearsed, kindness felt strategic, even love, at times, felt like a transaction. So when he stepped into the taxi that night, exhausted and emotionally drained, he didn't notice the driver's tired eyes or the quiet dignity in his posture. He barely noticed anything at all. The driver's name was Samuel Reed. Samuel had been driving taxis for almost 12 years. Not because he loved it, but because life had narrowed his choices slowly, then all at once. Once, he had been a schoolteacher. Once, he had believed that honesty and hard work guaranteed stability. But when his wife fell ill, savings vanished. When she passed away, grief arrived, and bills followed. Samuel now lived in a small apartment with peeling paint and a heater that worked only when it wanted to. Every night, he drove until his back ached and his eyes burned, chasing fares instead of dreams. He was tired, yes, but not bitter. Somewhere deep inside, he still believed character mattered, even if the world didn't reward it. The ride was silent. Adrian stared out the window, scrolling through emails, dismissing congratulatory messages with a numb swipe. When the taxi stopped in front of his luxury apartment building, he stepped out without a word, already lost in another call. The door shut. The car pulled away. 3 blocks later, Samuel heard something slide across the seat. At the next red light, he reached back and picked it up. The wallet was heavy. Too heavy. Samuel opened it just enough to identify the owner. His breath caught when he saw the name. Adrian Cole. Even Samuel, disconnected from corporate news, knew that name. He had seen it on magazine covers at grocery store checkouts. A billionaire in the making. A man who probably wouldn't notice if this wallet vanished. Inside were thick stacks of cash, cards that gleamed, and an address printed on a card. Samuel's heart pounded, not with greed, but with fear. Because that amount of money could solve almost everything in his life. Rent overdue. Car repairs waiting. Medical bills he still hadn't paid off. For a long moment, the taxi sat at the light while the city buzzed around him. Samuel thought of his wife, the way she used to say, "We don't do the right thing because it's easy. We do it because it's who we are." He closed the wallet. The light turned green. Instead of driving toward the taxi stand, Samuel made a slow U-turn. Back at the luxury building, the doorman looked suspicious when Samuel explained why he was there. A taxi driver returning a wallet didn't fit the usual narrative. Calls were made. Minutes passed. Finally, Adrian appeared, irritated, distracted, clearly expecting inconvenience. Then he saw the wallet. Something shifted in his expression. Samuel held it out without drama, without expectation. He didn't mention the cash. He didn't wait for praise. He simply said the words that would echo in Adrian's mind for months to come. "You left this behind, sir." Adrian opened it quickly, checking everything. Nothing was missing. He looked up slowly, studying the man in front of him. Worn jacket, tired eyes, calm posture. This wasn't the reaction Adrian was used to. No hesitation. No bargaining. No exaggerated morality speech. Just honesty. Adrian offered a reward without thinking. A generous one. Samuel politely declined. "I just wanted to return what wasn't mine." Those words landed harder than any business deal Adrian had ever signed. That night, Adrian couldn't sleep. Not because of stress, but because of discomfort. He had built an empire on strategy, risk, and control. Yet a man with nothing extra had shown him something he hadn't seen in years: integrity without an audience. Over the following weeks, Adrian found himself thinking about Samuel more than he cared to admit. About the quiet strength in his refusal. About how easy it would have been to disappear with that wallet. About how rare genuine honesty had become in his world. Against his assistant's advice, Adrian requested Samuel's contact information. Their next meeting wasn't in a boardroom. It was in a diner. They talked slowly, carefully. Samuel didn't complain about life. He didn't ask for help. He spoke about his past, his wife, his teaching days. Adrian listened, really listened, for the first time in years. What Adrian discovered shocked him more than the returned wallet ever had. Samuel wasn't unambitious. He wasn't lazy. He was simply one of the many good people life had quietly cornered. Weeks turned into months. Adrian made an offer, not charity, but opportunity. He funded a scholarship program in Samuel's wife's name. He helped Samuel transition into managing a transportation initiative that provided jobs to struggling drivers with dignity and fair wages. Samuel didn't become rich overnight. But he became stable, respected, seen. And Adrian, he changed too. He started trusting again, not blindly, but sincerely. He restructured his company culture, rewarding integrity over aggression. He reconnected with people without asking what they could offer in return. Years later, Adrian would say in an interview that the most valuable transaction of his life didn't involve money at all. It involved a forgotten wallet, a tired taxi driver, and one unexpected choice. Because sometimes, the smallest acts of honesty echo louder than the biggest displays of wealth. And sometimes, kindness doesn't just change the moment. It changes the direction of a life.